Hi, I'm Quan Myers and I live in Walpole, Maine, and we're here at Rabbitats for Humanity, a nonprofit organization where I rescue rabbits from shelters. I do educational programs in shelters and libraries and all over New England. I have approximately 55 bunnies right now. My Rabbitat was holding up to 150 bunnies, and we rehab them and find them homes, but many of the rabbits will live here for their entire lives because we have an overpopulation problem where people get bunnies from fairs and pet stores and don't know how to take care of them, and they end up here because there's no place else for them. So here we have a beautiful Siamese Rex rabbit whom has come here from the local shelter. A breeder decided they no longer wanted the bunnies, so they brought the mom and the two babies and the dad. And the mom and the babies have been with me for about a month, and they will probably stay here for the rest of their lives, mostly because I've fallen madly in love with them. And the mom is fortunate enough to have plenty of room to run and eat green grass and play with her young, and she's still nursing them. So these two little baby girls are about 10 weeks old, and they are known as a Siamese Rex, and they are expensive rabbits, about $100 a piece. But the shelters were full, and when I was asked to come and sex the bunnies to see if we could get them placed, they had to put them in a utility room because there wasn't enough room. So here they are, living with their mom and having a very happy life. So one of the greatest tools I have for luring my bunnies in is Ritz crackers. They absolutely love them. I think they love the crunch and the taste of the salt. So I'm going to go in, and this is one of the ways I check to make sure all my bunnies are healthy. If they don't come for a cracker, then I need to look to see where they are and if they're not feeling well. And here we have plenty of fresh broccoli leaves, which is one of the main staples out of the garden. They love any green that you can give them. Carrots, carrot tops, broccoli, kale, and crackers. Hi, Whitey. Good morning. Who wants a cracker? Come see. Here to the right are my geriatric bunnies. They're all between 7 and 9 years old. They will be moved into the barn when it gets too cold for them to be outside. Otherwise, they love being outside most of the summer. Come on. Get a cracker. This is Bertha. Good morning, Bertha. Come here, get a cracker. Hi. And there's Holy Smoke'em. Bertha came from a local laboratory where they experimented on her eyes for human eye drops. Oh, good morning, Simon. Simon helps me every morning and spends much of his time sleeping in the hutches with the bunnies. This is Holy Smoke'em. He's a little crazy rabbit. Yes, good morning. Here to the left, we have two bunnies that spent most of their life in someone's basement. I rescued these two little bunnies. They were also used as breeding bunnies, a little mini lop named Bo, and Gigi, who is a cross between a lionhead and a mini Rex, were living in a woman's basement for 3 years. She didn't know what to do with them. She called me. By the time I rescued them, Bo was nearly blind and had an abscess that needed to be operated on. And we had Bo neutered, and now these two are madly in love. And will live happily here until they go to bunny heaven. So, if you want to build a Rabbitat in your own backyard, all you need is really sturdy wiring and predator-proof fencing. The fencing protects the rabbits from predators seeing in. They might be able to smell them, but in 10 years I've never had a predator jump over the fence and attack my bunnies. The opportunity here is to allow the rabbit freedom in nature, but to be protected from any kind of predator attack, and to have the freedom to dig. You can put wiring down, which I haven't done all over this rabbitat, and you'll see holes as we go along. But the rabbits can still eat grass and dig and run in their natural habitat. I have many different kinds of housing that they can escape and hide and protect themselves in bad weather, fearful situations. And some were donated, some I built myself. You can build your own out of wood and wire and make it safe, and put plenty of hay in so the bunny has a place to stay warm and dry year-round. This is Ollie. Molo, did you get your cracker? Yes, Ollie's a little timid. He hides in his house most of the day with his girlfriend and loves his crackers. But he was abused by a small child. They were afraid to handle him. He bit and scratched, so he ended up in a little tiny cage. And when he came here, he was aggressive. But after a few weeks in the rabbitat and meeting some friends and hanging out and running around, he eats out of my hand. Over here we have Melba. Melba Toast and her friend Snowball. Can you get a cracker? Come on, good morning. How are you, sweetie? Did you get your cracker? There we go. Have some breakfast. Snowball was returned to pet quarters. She went home as an Easter gift, and she was with the family for about a month and a half, and they decided to return her to the pet shop because she was making too much of a mess. She was locked in a very small cage, and when she used her litter box, she scratched and everything went flying all over the place, and ended up very timid, and has finally found a friend after 2 months of running around with Melba. Oh, here comes Pretty Girl. Good morning. Pretty Girl was a surrender from a local lady. Somebody dropped her and her mate in their front yard. The lady called me because one bunny got hit by a car and said I need to place her, and drove 3 hours to bring this bunny to place her here at the rabbitat. Over here, there's a few more bunnies that were rescued from the shelter. Sushi and Sashimi. And Mrs. Velvet and Totomoto. Good morning. Everybody wants crackers? Yeah, let's see. Oh, come on. These guys are lionhead bunnies crossed with a Rex, and they're full grown at 6 months old. Very unusual to have tufts of hair on their bums. Bunnies love to have their bums rubbed. They carry a lot of tension in their hindquarters, especially if they're locked up. This is one of 9 of the laboratory rabbits that lives here. Come on, Little Bear. Come get a cracker. Little Bear is blind in one eye, and as you notice, rabbits are very territorial. We probably see a few scuffles here where there's invisible walls. If you cross over the wall, you have a little rousty row. And there's always a dominant bunny in the group, and we try to figure out daily who's in charge. Come on, you guys, get along.
Does that change from day to day?
Changes from day to day. Whoever gets there first usually is in charge. Whoever has the biggest hole. And especially the unspayed females, they are constantly digging and making nests for babies that they will never have, but it's still in their genetic makeup to make homes. Oh, come on.